Hi everybody, my name is Katie. I am with BlueNotary, and today what I wanted to go over is biometrics. So if you are in a state that allows biometrics, that is a huge leverage point for you, for your business, to be able to market towards a demographic that might have a little bit more trouble with the knowledge-based authentication. So if you're not familiar, when you get something notarized, or when you send out a notarization, the signer has to pass a two-part authentication. So it depends on the state, but we're just going to use Florida because that's where I'm from and that's the easiest thing for me. The first part is ID verification. So they would have to upload their ID and have it pass the security checks to make sure that that's valid. And then they have a secondary authentication. And then for my state, they let us do either knowledge-based authentication or biometrics. So with knowledge-based authentication, what they do is, if you've ever gone to a DMV for the website, when they ask you for different questions that basically pull from public information. So if you've ever bought a car and it's registered, it's going to show up in your it's going to be tied to you, and that's how it pulls. And it says, did you ever have a 1997 Chevy? Or it gives you like an option of 4 different things. So those types of questions, you have to answer a certain amount within a certain amount of time correctly in order for you to be able to pass that authentication. Sometimes it can be really hard for people, especially if they have like a long footprint or if they just have a poor memory, because they pull from really old things. So, if someone moved around a lot and they're not quite sure, they might not necessarily remember that 5 years ago they lived at 1234 Sierra Nevada, way, and then they wouldn't pick that, and then they could fail their knowledge-based authentication, so their KBA. So the workaround for that I have for my state is biometrics, which is also another recognized way to authenticate your clients, and then that is a face scan. So they use bank grade security technology to scan someone's face, and there's a lot more that goes into it, but put simply, they make sure that you are who you say you are. So they match your face to their driver's license, and there's a little bit more that goes on behind the scenes, but that is essentially it. But for my point as the notary, it's a lot easier for most of the demographic that I send notarizations for. And just in general, if you've ever tried to sign on to a DMV, it can be difficult and it can be tricky depending on the questions that they ask to be able to answer correctly. That's just even for me, I find it difficult sometimes. So to be able to do biometrics is the workaround. It's easier. You basically just center yourself on the screen and follow the directions. It makes you turn left and right to scan your face. That's what I was doing. And then that's it. But that is another way that you can kind of leverage to different businesses if they think that you have, if they think that the certain demographics will have a little bit harder time learning the technology. You can say that instead of using the KBA, you have the ability to do the face scan and everything like that. I think that's a good leveraging point. So I just wanted to kind of go over that, let you know. So if you aren't sure if your state allows biometrics, feel free to look it up under your department, the state. But then also I will link below our own article that keeps up to date and kind of keeps an eye out for the new notary laws coming out. And we have a state by state, which ones are available to the notaries and what states recognize biometrics. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out and follow along for more tips and tutorials. Thank you.